you stands historic Shiloh Baptist Church, one of the earliest African American churches in Central Virginia. At the end of the Civil War, freed slaves were in need of a place to freely worship. Many African Americans in Hanover County gathered around Langford's Crossing, located to the south of Ashland. There they were given permission to worship in a rundown shanty. This simple shack would be known as the birthplace of Shiloh Freedmen's Church. Though Shiloh began her life at Langford's Crossing, she wouldn't stay there. In 1874, Mrs. Elizabeth Betsy Hogg sold a parcel of land on Hanover Avenue to Shiloh Freedmen's Church. Though Shiloh never built a permanent structure there, members erected a brush arbor on the site. There, Reverend Burl Toller, Shiloh's first pastor, would preach. Toller, a former slave and representative at Virginia's Constitutional Convention in 1868, was the only African American in history to hold the office of chaplain of the legislature for the Commonwealth of Virginia. Later, as the church expanded, the site became the church's cemetery, which is located about a mile away from the current church and can be reached by heading right on South James Street and then traveling right on Hanover Avenue until you reach the cemetery on the right-hand side. On April 11, 1877, the trustees finally purchased land from Mr. and Mrs. M. E. Cox of Ashland for $100, where the first permanent structure was built out of wood. It measured 25 feet by 35 feet. In the 1880s, Reverend James Anderson Taylor had a larger building constructed, which contained an indoor baptismal pool. Made of wood and lined with wax, the pool is said to have been used to baptize over 100 people on one Sunday evening. At this point in time, Shiloh housed a school for black children, which remained open periodically throughout the early 1900s. A teacher from Richmond was hired to teach at the school when it was open, and he was paid 25 cents for every student. The church was also used to host events for civic organizations and fraternities, as well as health clinics, and nearly burnt down in the early 1900s when a fight broke out between the members of one such organization. In the 1930s and 40s, an ambitious project to brick over and expand the church was begun by Reverend Benjamin Jackson and Douglas Burks. To accomplish this large project, the church enlisted the help of the Hanover Black Civilian Conservation Corps, or CCC. Later, in the 1970s, a fellowship hall and education wing were added to Shiloh, which has only undergone minor renovations since. The church has since had 18 pastors who guided a congregation filled with many people whose ancestors helped build or worshipped at the early church.